Okay, so itong course ito is Physics 181. This is Quantum Physics 1 and this is the first of two courses sa quantum physics. Okay. Dito sa course na ito, you were expected to have a grasp the fundamentals of quantum physics, apply these quantum physical principles using mathematical formalism. Okay, introduce natin sa course. Okay, yung mathematical formalism na yun ay tinatawag na Dirac formalism, and it's ang fundamental na niya, ang basis niya is actually matrix mathematics. Okay, pero iba yung approach. It takes a little bit time para ma-figure out kung paano gamitin, but once you figure it out, madali na siyang magamit to any kind of system. Okay, so hindi siya introduce sa 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3 series kasi it's only used in this type of mathematical formalism is only used in quantum physics. Okay. Then yung third objective is categorize and differentiate various techniques and principles of physics, principles in quantum physics and related to other fields of learning. So this is a 3-unit course. It's just a lecture course. Okay, and we have yung VLE. I hope na na-access nyo na yung VLE ninyo. So let's see. Okay. So this is the VLE for quantum physics. Then you have these quick access links, Zoom link, and then yung calendar. Na-explain ko mamaya. And then if you have some songs that parating yung kinakanta sa video, okay, then kumuha ko ng playlist. Pwede natin idagdag dito yung songs na yan. And then this is description of what the course is about. Okay. And then yung mga topics. Okay. Explain ko bakit wala pang nakalagay dyan. So let's go back to okay. So that's the VLE, and this course is a lecture course, so this will depend on your grades will depend only on the exams and the final exams. So lecture exams is composed of 70% of your grade, and your final exam is 30% of your grade. And as in all of my other classes, yung lecture, merong exemption sa finals. So if you get an average of 60% or better, then you don't have to take the finals. Ito yung grading system. Okay, yan din yung grading system na ginagamit ko in all of my other classes. And so kung nag-estudyante ko na kayo before, yeah, the familiar kayo dyan. Then we have yung Google Calendar. Okay, and ito yung ating consultation hours. So from Tuesdays to Friday, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then Mondays by appointment. And if it happens na hindi kayo available sa ano na yan, sa mga times na yan, then you can just send me an email para mag-schedule ng meeting. Okay, then let's take a look at the calendar. So here's the Google Calendar. You can see na hindi lang yung klase ninyo ang nandito. So yung klase ninyo is of course Physics 181. Okay, but all of my other classes are here. So ginawa ko yan para makita niyo yung schedule ko. Just in case na gusto niyo pumunta sa office for consultation, you can just take a look at the Google Calendar and then tignan nyo na lang kung ano yung mga free times ko. Okay. Now, yung first 4 weeks natin ay asynchronous. Well, actually, hindi. Yung first 4 weeks natin na hindi pa ako nakapag-decide kung asynchronous or hindi. Okay. So, right now, it's just, nakasulat lang dito, it's just virtual. And kung titignan nyo yung activity for the day, halimbawa sa next Wednesday, August 28. Makikita nyo dyan na nakalagay virtual, pero wala pang activity. Ang nakalagay lang na topic, Schrodinger wave equation. If you go to all other topics, okay, for the next 3-4 meetings yata, it's just a Schrodinger equation and then applications of the Schrodinger wave equation. Okay, so ganun lang muna yung nilagay ko. Then we have one problem solving sa September 13. Then kung titignan nyo, nilagay ko na rin yung exam schedules. So tawag dito, ang first exam ninyo will be on September 18. Okay, and then next exam ay October 18. Okay. Okay, and so on and so forth. So makikita niyo na yung buong schedule natin for the whole semester. Okay, nandiyan na rin yung holidays and yung ibang relevant schedules sa semester like finals week, foundation day, end of classes, and so on and so forth. Okay, so tawag dito, I'm still preparing kung ano yung mga materials na tinuturo ko, na ituturo ko sa klase na ito for each particular day. So, kaya hindi pa ako sure kung virtual tayo o I mean kung synchronous tayo or asynchronous virtual in the next 4 weeks. So, I'll send you an email na lang siguro within the week or by Monday kung ano yung magiging mode natin sa mga susunod na meetings. Okay? Yun na lang muna. Okay. So why are we studying quantum physics? Okay. So dun sa mga nag-take ng mga students ko sa 170, nakita niyo na itong image kanina. Okay. Dun sa si Christian, hindi pa niya nakita yung image na ito. So this is an image of a transistor. Okay, and pinapakita ko itong image na ito kasi this is a fundamental device na present sa lahat ng device na nagko-compute. Computer, calculator. Okay, so transistor is really a powerful and fundamental device. That's why we're learning about this type of device. Now, it's also being used for quantum computing. Okay, we're studying quantum physics kasi we live in a quantum world. Okay, and yung mga quantum computers ngayon is based on transistors. Okay, itong image na nakikita nyo dito is actually a single electron transistor. Bakit siya single electron transistor? Compared dito sa mga transistors na ito, okay, ang ganito nag-work yung transistor. So you have these power leads. So dito ina-apply yung voltage. But you can, and then may current na dumadaan dito. So you can control yung current. You can control yung current base dun sa voltage. Okay, so you can control the amount of electrons na nagpapass through base dun sa voltage nito dyan. Ditong single electron transistor, imbis na maraming electrons yung dumadaan dyan, okay, ang nangyayari dito is when you control, you tune the voltage such that, oops, sorry. Yep, thank you for letting me know. Okay, so sa image na ito, okay, this is a single electron transistor. Ang ginagawa niyo dito is you apply voltage here and then nangyayari is only one electron jumps. So this is ang tawag dito, so sa 104 narinig niyo na yung tunnel barrier, di ba? Dito sa device na to, literally isang electron lang yung nag-jump at a single time. Okay, and this is why it's called the single electron transistor, and this is the basis or the basic device for a quantum computer. Okay. In addition to this, of course, we have yung DNA, and yung DNA can be, yung behavior ng isang DNA can be explained using quantum physics. Okay. Then this is an image of a quantum computer. So ito yung CEO ng Google ngayon. Okay, and makikita nyo dito, yan yung tawag dito. Well, actually, wires lang lahat yan. Okay, pero yung quantum computer will be somewhere there. Okay, now, if you're interested, there's a link here. Okay, na pwede nyo tignan later. And dyan sa link na yan, merong movie about small clip of 3-4 minute na clip about quantum computing. Okay, and pinapakita ko ano itong itsura nung device na ito. Kung ano yung itsura ng quantum computer. So it's just a small chip that's placed here, pero yung small chip na is controlled by all of these wires. And then you have this cooling system. Ang problem kasi sa quantum computer is that it's using a device called a material called superconductor. Okay, so sa 173, we're going to study semiconductor. But dito sa quantum physics, there's a device called superconductor. It's called superconductor because it doesn't have any resistance, okay, at all. Okay, kaya dahil wala siyang resistance, it means na walang heat dissipation. Okay, so ibig sabihin, current just can flow continuously without any impediment. And at an infinite time. Okay, kasi wala namang pipigil sa kanya, okay, na mag-flow. But the problem here is that you have to you only achieve superconductivity at extremely low temperature. So this is actually, itong red na enclosure na yan is actually a low temperature refrigerator. Okay, so it's a refrigerator that can go down to millikelvin or microkelvin. So imagine niyo, ang Kelvin is negative 273 degrees Celsius, and itong buong device na to ay palalamigin nila hanggang sa order ng 10 to the minus 3 Kelvin or to 10 to the minus 6 Kelvin. Okay, so one of the things sa pag-aaralan natin sa quantum physics is, or ma-realize natin sa quantum physics, is that yung universe is actually more quantum mechanical than classical. Okay, but there's a sort of a connect. Okay, of course, people are trying to connect yung quantum physics to classical physics. Okay, and sort of yung midway between yung quantum physics and classical physics is this concept called decoherence. So parang if you have a quantum mechanical system and then you tawag dito, you have many quantum mechanical systems put together in the same space, for example, then you sort of average out yung quantum nature ng system na yun. And that averaging out is called decoherence. And that results to, yung pag-average out na yan, results to a classical behavior. It's something that you also see in this device. So this is called superconducting quantum interference device. Hindi natin pag-aaralan ito sa 181, but you'll probably learn about this sa 182. Okay. This is actually a quantum mechanical system, okay, behaving or exhibit na yung behavior niya is exhibited in the classical world. Okay, so yeah, so and this device is also used in quantum computing. Okay, so of course binabanggit ko ang quantum computing kasi yun na yung world na ginagalawan natin ngayon. Because of all the advances in technology, we have these quantum computers, we have artificial intelligence, and soon we will see some sort of merging between itong dalawang fields na ito. So we're going to use quantum computers to develop artificial intelligence. Okay. I believe na mangyayari yun in our lifetime. Okay, so yun. So yun yung reason kung bakit natin pinag-aaralan ng quantum physics. Okay, kasi kayo na yung, in the future, kayo na yung mga tao na magpapatakbo ng ganitong klaseng systems if you choose that path. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? Okay, so kung wala nang question, then I'll email you next within the week or by Monday kung ano yung magiging kung ano yung magiging tawag dito, mode natin sa Wednesday next week. By the way, if you haven't received it yet, or pakicheck na yung email ninyo, nag-send ako ng materials just now dun sa course syllabus, reference materials okay, na gagamitin natin. Ang reference pala na gagamitin ko primarily sa course na ito is Applied Quantum Mechanics. Okay, okay, so yung itsura ng book. Okay, yeah. So, and kaya ako gustong gamitin itong book na ito kasi it's actually easier to use, and pangalawa, merong tawag dito, meron siyang, well, merong mga codes dito, programming codes to solve for some of the systems na tawag dito, na didi-discuss natin sa klase. Okay. Oh yeah. By the way, hindi ko nabanggit, you are going to do some coding dito sa klase na ito. Okay. Meron din book na ito na Griffiths. Ito, maganda din itong book na ito, but it doesn't discuss as itong, for example, itong wave function, itong Schrodinger equation, mathematical formalism as much as yung book na ginawa ni Levi, Applied Quantum Mechanics. Sa 182, ito naman yung preferred na book, na reference material na ginagamit ko. So yung book by Griffiths. And then when you go to graduate studies, actually even sa undergrad, nung undergrad namin, ito yung ginagamit namin na book. This immediately introduces you to the mathematical formalism na inaano ko na sinasabi ko kanina. Tawag dito, without any background of matrix notation, yung libro kasi na ito, yung sasama kayo kaagad sa heavy math. Kaya I don't think it's well, mas gusto ko lang gamitin yung isang book na yun. Okay, para lang mas mag-stick tayo more on yung physics kaysa yung sa mathematics. But this is a physics textbook na ginagamit sa buong mundo, and if you talk to other physics students and tell them about yung book na Sakurai, lahat ng physics students ay alam yung book. Okay, so if there are no questions, then I'll send you an email on within the week or by Monday. Okay, so thank you for coming.